What's up, everybody? It's That Anime Show. I am Terri Doty with
J. Michael Tatum.
And today we have this guy in. You might have heard of him.
We found him on the street. Stop calling me at night.
Eric Vale. Hi.
It's why they make pop screens.
Hi.
Wow, this isn't creepy at all.
Hey, guys.
Reminds me of how we met. It wasn't that funny. It was my car. It was weird. He just kind of followed me.
This pop screen tastes good.
Hey, you're right. Because I got the one made of balsa wood or whatever.
Made of balls.
So we're immediately just going to go balls in.
Balls and wood. What?
How you doing?
I'm good.
So you just make parole, I see.
Yeah, and all he has to do is introduce himself to his neighbors. That's all.
Hi, my name's Eric Vale.
I'm like, that's not even your real name, is it? Doesn't matter. No,
Ixnay on the ale, vey.
Say the rest.
No.
Well, no, I tried to search like your credits and it wouldn't pull up Vale immediately. Bastards.
Why? Who wouldn't?
Anime News Network.
Beat them.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Well, what have you been up to?
Oh, nothing. Not
That's
much.
cool.
I just had my birthday was last week, so I'm now
Older.
older. Not
You feel
wiser.
older?
I do feel older.
Are they lower to the ground?
A little lower to the ground.
Do they dip in the toilet when you sit?
They touch the water now. Yes,
Gross.
It's gross.
Why
I
do you
need to
bring
get-
that up? That's
it's-
disgusting.
I don't know. It just seemed like a topic we'd want to riff on for a little while.
great.
I mean, if
No
you
one,
don't, I totally
absolutely
understand.
no one wants to know about the status of your balls.
No, I don't feel any older. I don't feel any wiser either, if that is any consolation. I think once I hit 30, I decided my body was like, you're never going to get, this is as emotionally mature as you're ever going to get. So just live it up. This is you. So, like, turning 30 wasn't that big of a deal. 31 wasn't that big of a deal. 33 was kind of weird. For some reason, I don't know why being the same age as Christ was, like, weird. But 33 was a weird one for me. But 34 came and went. Didn't even do anything for it. Just hung out in the house. Didn't do
Christ was not just 33, for the record.
I thought he was 33 years old when he
Sure, but you
like-
said being the same age as Christ. He wasn't born 33, and he stayed 33 all of his life.
Well, no, but I made it to that age. Like, I don't.
You mean the age he was when he died?
Yeah,
Clarify when you speak.
I'm
Be a
not
big boy.
I'm not a theologian. I don't understand.
Just take
I
these
thought he was-
notes.
Theologian, here comes the big words.
That's not a big word.
Here they
That's not
come.
a big
Here they
word.
come.
Oh, Vale hates my big
You're not
words.
a theologian, like a Cosby kid? The youngest person in the room.
Nice.
Oh, did you hear? It's not funny. It's not, but, a bunch of people died this week.
Yes.
Yeah, Gary Coleman died.
Dennis Hopper died today.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper died.
Yes.
74 years old, right, or something. And then
Yeah.
I think he died of.
Prostate cancer.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
What happened with Gary Coleman? I wasn't sure
know.
about that. First, I know
think
he's
he
had
had,
a lot of health problems because he's had like a couple of kidney transplants, hasn't he?
I'm not
or,
sure,
or
but he's
surgeries
had,
or something. But I thought I heard
He's
at
had
first
kidney problems. I mean, he was born with kidney disease, I believe, and had it
so.
his
I think
whole
you're
life. But no, he had some kind of brain hemorrhage and at his home, and that sort of started him on a downward spiral.
I'd
few days.
heard at first that he had fallen and like injured himself, and that's what happened. But I think something like he had maybe had a stroke or something, and
I
that
think-
caused
yeah.
him to fall. And
I think that's what
I
happened.
just misread it. But
But yeah, and then Dennis Hopper passed away. He'd been fighting prostate cancer for
Someone
a
else
little while.
died. Paul something.
Ronnie James Dio.
Well, no, like this week. Not that I'm like, this just...
Didn't Dio die again? He's died
Yeah.
a few times.
Well,
over
there
the
was like
past
a
few
rumor,
months.
and then he actually did. Yeah, like Mike and I were talking about it because some people were
who is this again?
Theo, like
Ronnie James Dio.
I feel completely stupid for not knowing that name. Like, who is
Sabbath.
that?
Is that the only reason you feel completely stupid?
No, it's not the only reason, but it's
This
certainly.
is really an interview for you, Tatum.
God, what am I?
What
Never,
do
you know, I
you
should have
know?
just shut
Michael.
up and like nodded my head and been like,
Michael.
oh yeah, totally that guy.
So actually, Tatum, this is kind of. I really just wanted everyone to meet your replacement. This is
I'm free. Michael, we'd like to thank you for coming on That Anime Show today. It's great to have you here.
Thank you
for your send off.
Yeah.
And fuck you.
Well, you would be you would be
Are you trying to cry or?
Are you trying to cry?
I couldn't tell if you were trying to cry or
trying not to cry.
trying not to cry.
I'm trying to try not to cry.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
You're not a good actor.
Because I'm actually
really.
totally about. I know this. There's never been a question of that. I mean, I don't need to be told
I just
I'm not a
wanted
good
to
actor.
clarify. What's wrong?
If someone asked me, like, how do you become a voice actor? I'm like, fuck if I know. Ask one of the voice actors.
I'm a voice actor?
Holy shit, that's what I do.
I answered that jokingly to somebody. It wasn't like at a con. It was like, oh, you're a voice. I'm like, well, no, I'm really a voice director. They're like, how do you become a voice actor? I'm like, fucking's always funny and good. And they went, what? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't care.
No, okay, but we were talking about like people that have died this week. Okay, I read something about some Californian stage actor. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. Who shot, beheaded, and dismembered some dude in the theater where they were working.
What?
Like hid the body in the theater, and like then later like lured that person's girlfriend to either his house or the same theater and killed her, like sending her a text on the dude's phone. Like I read this like last night. I'm like,
gonna be a movie next year.
But yeah, it was some stage actor. I'd never heard of him before, and I can't remember his name now. But
Are
I read
you sure this isn't the plot of Scream 4?
It might wind up being the.
I was going to say
Scream 4.
Scream 5,
But why not?
Scream 4 because the first three just didn't
They're
make any money.
remaking everything. Why not? Yeah.
They're remaking everything. They've always made
Dark Crystal.
That's going to be weird. I don't know why you would
Hellraiser.
remake Dark
Fright
Crystal.
Night.
They're remaking Hellraiser? Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
I don't understand it. It's like I don't care. I don't go to movies anymore. I go to like maybe one movie a year now.
I go to the Dollar Theater.
Most of them suck. I haven't been to the theaters since I went with you guys to see Moon, I think, which I thought was really good.
Was really
but
good.
That was, that's like that'd been the first time I saw a movie in like months. They're too expensive. And theaters suck now. Like, if I want to share this theater with a bunch of people that scream and bring their children to like, midnight showings of Alien or something, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna be at home where I can control the volume and I don't walk out with crap all over the bottom of my shoe, and I'm not worried about getting mugged when I go back to my car.
The crap thing still happens at my house, even.
Yeah.
My wife and I watched Avatar last night, and I still ended up with shit on the bottom of my shoe.
I have not seen Avatar.
No,
I have not.
How
either.
was it?
Awesome.
I've heard it's awesome. Everyone tells me
I've
it's
been
really
watching
fun.
just like behind the scenes stuff for it. It looks really cool.
It's awesome.
Even though I'm
it's
not,
totally
like-
fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's whatever.
it's not James.
Do they have it
Cameron's best
available?
movie, but it's
Can you
fun.
watch it? Do they have like a 3D version available for home systems yet, or is it just?
I don't know. I'm not a representative for 20th
Why
Century
not?
Fox.
I love listening to your.
Why did we get you on this show then? I totally thought he was.
Well,
a
I love
representative
listening
for
to
20th.
Eric's little
sorry.
reviews over movies. Where it's like, have you seen that? Don't see it.
Oh yeah, I have strong opinions over
Things.
things that suck.
Oh. Okay, what's the suckiest thing you've seen recently? Nah, it doesn't count. I mean,
I'm
a movie's
pointing
pointing
at
at me. I'm not a movie, nor would I be a very good one.
I
But
think you'd be hilarious.
so I suck, but a movie about me could be awesome. That's an interesting concept.
No,
Yeah.
he didn't say awesome. You heard that. He said hilarious.
Okay, hilarious.
Terrible, but hilarious. So what have I seen that sucks?
What sucks? What sucks? I love hearing you rant about things you hate. You're very much like me in that respect. 'cause
I don't know.
like-
I haven't had an opportunity to go see a whole lot lately. I haven't
Been
I
super
mean-
busy.
Well, it doesn't have to be a movie.
I mean, I saw Avatar in the theater last December. And then after Avatar, the first movie I saw in the theater was Iron Man 2. That was it.
Yeah.
How was Iron Man 2? I haven't.
It was great.
Seen it.
It was great. I liked
I've heard mixed reviews.
Me too. But
A
I
movie
always
that I want
hear
to
mixed
see.
reviews.
Clarion Harp sent my husband a link for this horrible movie that's out. It's an IFC film called The Human Centipede.
Oh God, no!
I've heard
And
of this.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna make me see it, even if I don't want to. So
I would. You could not get me to sit through that movie.
Steven's playing. There's a video game on it now.
What?
Steven's been playing it, like where you're like the surgeon that sews these people together.
Why? I just the.
I do.
I don't understand why anyone would. I just the whole. There's a pooping. Really in
There's
the mouth?
Come on. It takes it. I guess it takes all kinds. I mean, I'm kind of with you. I don't want to see a movie about that, but I guess there. I guess I have to imagine that if somebody willing to make a movie about that, there has to be somebody willing to watch it. Like that vacuum has to be filled somehow.
I mean, I love a horror movie. I love a good horror movie. Horror movies are my favorite.
And this is one of the reasons I love you.
Well, thank you.
I love me some horror movies too.
They're
well, you're okay.
I just like to be scared. I don't like to be grossed out. Grossed out.
Well, that was my problem
the gross
with
out
Drag
factor
Me
is
to
after a
Hell,
while.
which was every 5 seconds I was going, oh God, no.
Do you remember the show Fear Factor that started out being like, wow, that's some scary shit they have to do. I totally feel for these people.
The scary thing about that was Joe Rogan's eyebrows.
But like after like the first season, they're like,
this week?
hey, what animal testicle will you eat? It was no longer frightening. It was just gross.
No,
and
the
that's
scariest thing was having to be on a show with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
That
was fear enough. But yeah,
you made it to the show. Evidently, fear is not a factor. Well, obviously, my career's going to.
I haven't seen a good scary movie in a long time. I haven't like a movie that actually scared me.
Scared? Yeah. I'd say one of the best movies I've seen lately, like in that genre, is Let the Right One In. That's good.
I still haven't seen it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
They're already making it into an American film.
Of course they are. Of course they are. They're going to.
And I think they'll
fuck it up.
What they'll do with it is they'll make it they'll cater to short attention spans and it'll lose everything about it.
We're losing with dialogue. Someone needs that. Yeah.
And it wasn't really like I watched that and I love that movie, so thank you for recommending it. But it's not really
recommending's a light way of saying you're going to watch that.
Yeah, like okay, thank you for forcing me to watch that at gunpoint or telling me that we couldn't.
I don't use guns. Guns are so impersonal. No, katana. Go. I don't even know where I got that.
One of the weapons you don't have to reload.
Mm-hmm. It's made in Mexico.
But yeah, Let the Right One Win. It isn't scary. It's just freaking awesome. Like there are moments of it that are like, ooh, oh, that's kind of horrifying. But
or I believe you said, what was it? You said it was like how Steven and I met. Like it was. Like
it's totally a story because the characters even looked like the two of you would have looked when you were young. I'm like watching this going, oh my god, this is totally the two of them. Like the dude looks like Steven as a kid,
and I look like
the girl,
a vampire.
and you look like the vampire chick. You'll understand when you see it. You're like, oh my god, this is Steven and Terri. But it's a good film. I mean, I think it's gorgeous. It's very beautiful. And you don't see films like that very often anymore. Certainly not here in the States, but.
Steve.
I don't know. Scary movies are hard to come by, and I don't know. It's kind of one, they seem not to know how to make them anymore, and two, maybe we've just seen so much that we're not scared anymore.
Why make an original when I can just remake it?
That's what they do. They're too busy remaking films for a mass audience. Because look, the problem with horror films is that what scares people is nowadays, like what you're saying, is too specified. Mm-hmm. And because everybody is too specified into their own little lives and their own little microcosms around the world. So,
gross out films.
like if somebody made a horrifying, and I think they should, clown horror film.
They've made a couple, and
they haven't made a good one. No one's
like a documentary on Barnum and Bailey is not a horror movie.
No, it was a horror movie. Goddamn it, it was a horror movie. Like Shakes the Clown was a horrifying movie,
right? But they need to make a good, scary clown horror film
so that I won't see it. Because I wouldn't.
You will. You would.
No,
you would see it.
No, I wouldn't see it. I don't need to see it.
If it was good, look. If a movie came out and it was somebody said this is the best horror film, it's like Let the Right One In. It's the best horror film ever, and it has to do with scary clowns. You would see it.
But no, I wouldn't, because I'm phobic of clowns. They terrify me.
Okay,
and
all McFarlane had to do was bring over that clown movie.
But that was funny because the dude didn't look like a clown to me. Like
was
that's
this?
why it was
Fear of
Clowns.
He just brought it over randomly. It's like, oh, look what's in my bag. We should watch this. And Tatum's like,
yeah, because Mike, like so many of you fuckers, are totally dedicated to like curing me of this phobia.
I have never ever done that.
That's right.
It's
You've actually tried to help me, but
No,
like
no
between you
one
and
wants-
Brina, or not you, but Brina and Mike and Bevins and most everyone else up at Funimation, they're like, oh, it'll
Tatum,
be funny. He's terrified.
No one
of
wants
it.
to cure you of this phobia.
They're just trying to kill you.
want to poke fun at you using it.
But yeah, it's clowns. But yeah, that movie that Mike brought over that one time was just really bad. It was funny bad because the guy didn't even look like a proper clown, so it wasn't frightening. Like people were like, well, dude, you like the Joker? And I'm like, Joker doesn't look like a classical clown. Like it has to be a very specific like circus clown type thing for me to kind of freak out. It's a very specific trigger. I don't really know.
Like the house mom in clown makeup scares you more.
That, yeah. There was some video, I forget where I saw it. It was probably at some found video festival where they just basically find old retail training videos and industrial safety videos, like the really cheaply made stuff, and they're fucking hilarious to watch. My dad had a bunch of these because of his job, and we'd watch them and laugh. But there was some, and God only knows where it came from. But it was some Christian clowning school instructional video, and like an intro to it.
Oh, we found it.
And it was. And yeah, and it was weird. It was like Christian clowning, and it was like these clowns. And
is there a difference?
Apparently, I don't know. Maybe there's certain things you can't do as a Christian clown. I don't know. But it was all like they do magic tricks and stuff, but with like I don't even really know what the distinction was. But there's some shot of them going to like a nursing home to help these people on the brink of death feel better about themselves. Because, I mean, I know if I'm about to die, a clown is totally going to make me feel better about the hereafter. And even if I wasn't afraid of clowns, but it shows a shot of them, like, one of the instructions they're given is, don't show up in big groups. And it shows, like, the how not to shot of, like, 6 or 7 of these horrifying Christian clowns. They look just like normal clowns, by the way. There's again, don't know the difference. Walking down this hallway, and, like, you see a bunch of old people in the anteroom just freak out and scatter.
Let me just tell you one thing, man. When you find yourself dying, I am going to show up dressed as a clown.
I really hope I outlive you.
You won't. I mean, I'm going to start running today,
dude.
He's
just be careful, because if I'm on the brink of death, I got nothing to lose. I will fucking take you with me.
You can't. Immortal clowns.
No, that's not even funny.
That's right.
It's not even
Immortal
funny.
clowns.
That would be. There you go. I think you should. Okay, why don't you make the best horror movie ever with clowns?
You're a big filmmaker, dude.
Yeah,
sure. Immortal clowns. That's my next movie right there. Immortal clowns.
Get with Todd, and you can get Todd to rehash his character from that horrifying but well-made film that
Green-eyed
he did.
clown.
Green-eyed clown.
I don't know that everybody was a clown in that. Like Kent Williams is in that. Mike McFarlane.
People I know
My
and
son's
love.
in that.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's right.
Everybody's in
I didn't realize that at the time. I didn't realize it was. It took me a bit to recognize most people, but just seeing Todd do all the clown things, and it could have done without the shot of like the 100 or so Todds sitting in the audience. That was also. I'm like, oh, good old fashioned nightmare.
Someone
fuel.
wanted that. They were like, I need that, and it was probably me.
You needed
really
100 Todds?
Yeah, I need 100 clown Todds.
You know,
Really? Yeah. I'm messed up inside,
I have a feeling it was Todd who felt he needed 100 Todds.
clown wise.
Yeah.
I'll just take one Todd. That's enough for me.
No. Todd wants 100 Todds, and I want 100
He said he's
knees,
working on it.
We're going to fight.
There'll be a great
Have
battle.
100 Todds and 100 Erics fight each other.
I would pay money for that. Let's
But
make
then,
this happen.
like, I would be terrified of that going horribly awry and the two armies joining forces, and the rest of us would just be fucked. I don't want an army of Todd Vales. Or Eric Habercorns.
Habervales.
Habervales. I like that. That works for me.
There'd be no chance for the rest of us. So should we get to listener questions?
Yeah, we already got some emails.
We do. We got some great
loveliness.
ones. Man, people are like waiting for you. It's like a Memorial Day sale.
Yeah.
Like Best Buy. People
I
are
thought you were just going to
outside.
say it's like a memorial. I'm like, great. Lucky me, I'm already dead. Chalk me up to the list of people who've died this week.
No.
Eric Vale died of his own obsolescence this week. Sorry. Sorry, that's another big word.
God, Michael, seriously.
Abalos. What?
I remember, can we just tell that story when Aquarion, when like a freaking idiot, I told him to give me a read that was more blithe, because that was the first word that popped in my head, and it made no fucking sense, and Vale just did the exact same thing he did before. And I was like, no, and he's like, what does that direction mean?
He is telling the story all wrong.
Oh, well, then you tell it. You tell a much better version of it.
I do!
Hey, Tatum, shut up.
And let me... Shut...
I'm going to have some of my tasty water and let you go on.
You do that.
Deja vu.
You shove that bottle all the way down that throat, okay? There you go. Sick. Pervert.
So, Eric.
He's disgusting.
What happened? Tell me.
No, we were in the booth, and it's not like... Okay... we have beeps right before the line, for those of you who don't know. Beep, 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 and then the line starts. And you, as the director, give all the direction to the actor, and then the actor prepares, okay, I'm ready to go. Then they start the beeps, and then you do your line. So Tatum waits until the second beep to say, oh, and be blithe. So I have all of a third of a second to incorporate all of that stuff. And I'd already prepared for the line, and I blow the take, and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck what are you talking about? I don't even know what the fuck that means, you know? I mean, of course I know what blithe means, but at the time, in the moment, I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about, because that is not where my mind is. And he's like, what do you mean? You don't know what blithe? And then we got into this argument. I'd worked with you, what, a week?
Yeah, I was brand new, and Eric was like, who the fuck is this jackass?
And I kicked open the door, and I'm like, rah, 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 and I barked at him, and he barked back at me, and he or I left the room, or I don't know.
No, I think as I recall, it ended with you going like, dude, just very simple. Just, we're actors. We don't need that much. You can use monosyllabic words. And I'm like, blithe is monosyllabic, you fucking.
You guys probably like, what's monosyllabic?
And then we started laughing, and then we went downstairs for a break, and then we came back up, and I just kept my mouth shut the rest of the session. And Vale did wonderfully without me jumping in.
Is that how you guys met?
That's not how we met, but that was early days.
No, how we met was.
Oh yeah, you want to tell that story too?
I was playing a flamboyantly gay character,
and
I
was
training. Yeah, and he was
I was sitting with Colleen, who was directing him, and I hadn't met him yet.
And he's just sitting there, and like a fucking silent partner the whole time, just whoo, not saying a word for an hour or so. And I don't know who this guy is. And so Colleen's telling me, this guy is, flamboyant, and he needs to be gay and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, how gay? Is he like super gay? Is he like, oh my god, like, ooh, like flip of the wrist kind of gay, and
then you said something like, I think you did like a line or two, and it was dead on.
Well, I did a fair amount of it. I think we were right at the end of the
that's right
of the whole session.
Okay, and
then I opened up the door of the booth, and I said something about, well, God, after all that gay stuff, I need to go home and do like.
Yard work.
Do something like yard work and drink a beer or something. And Colleen looks at Michael and says, well, Michael, you drink beer and do yard work, don't you? And Michael goes, yes.
And the look on Vale's face, he just goes, holy shit, are you gay? I'm like, yes. Right. He's like, dude, I'm just saying. I mean, that's really cool of you. And he just then, it's so like, I just started fucking laughing, and I'm just like,
I don't care. No, that's what it, well,
yeah, that's like, I don't care.
They just threw me, Justin just threw me in with Scott while you were doing some One Piece. And that's how we met.
Yeah.
But Scott was like, oh, we're going to finish early with him. And I went, well, I'm not here to observe him. Bum, bum, bum. But yeah. And then we ended up talking about ghost hunters, and I was like, I like him. Yay.
Yes.
Yeah, Vale and I used
Very
to, when we
normal.
worked together back in the day on many, many things, we would talk a lot about ghost hunters and just ghosts in general.
Before it was...
Vale tells some
that?
great motherfucking ghost stories.
I got good ghost stories.
He does. Mm-hmm. But you mentioned
Hell
One Piece.
yeah.
We actually have a One Piece related question.
Okay.
Ooh.
This comes, of course, from our good friend
Steve.
So Steve writes.
Steve Yurko.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah. Steve.
I think this is the weird
Steve.
question.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Steve writes, I would just like to say on behalf of the One Piece podcast that you are the, all caps, friggin' man, and it would be awesome to get the chance to meet you. On that note, despite what you and Sabat told me, my girlfriend is not convinced that having a beard is awesome. What do I have to do to convince this chick?
Well, first off, thank you. And haven't I met him?
I think you have.
Well, he says it would be awesome to get a chance to meet him, and I have met him.
Steve, are you a liar?
Right?
Maybe he's forgotten you. Have you met Steve? Have you met him?
I think I met him up in Rochester.
Well, then,
You probably
where
have,
did
'cause I
you
did,
and
'cause-
Sabat talk to him about beards if you guys didn't meet?
Well, we did meet. We met up in Rochester, New York. I did the One Piece podcast.
Steve, we're calling you out.
Now,
Figure it
Steve
out.
might, to his credit, he's not the, there's a bunch of guys that do the
There's 4 of
podcast,
them.
so he might not have been with them that time. I don't know, but maybe.
There were 4 of them there. I think he was there.
He's taller than me. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And maybe he just
Maybe I'm-
Steve is. Did I read the question correctly?
I would love
Maybe I'm misremembering
it.
Maybe that's in the
I've
future.
Slept since then.
It was awesome to get the chance to meet you.
Oh, it was okay. That was my gaff. It was awesome.
Go in for
so-
it again. Come on.
Sorry.
Michael Tatum, douchebag.
Sorry, Steve. I
Okay,
fucked your
see,
question
I was
in the
pretty
face.
sure. Okay, so now that Tatum has done that, so how do we get your girlfriend to pretend that to actually like your beard?
Now,
Here's
I know
what I
a lot
say.
of women that love the beard.
That's true. I do too. Okay, so there's a couple of different things you can do.
Tell us.
Here's what I would start with saying, I think it's time we see other people. It is a good starting point.
As it's growing out,
And then there's the whole, Sally, who I spend all this other time with, really likes beards. That always works. Or, don't do something like, oh, my dude friends thinks it's cool. That's never gonna work.
That doesn't fly.
Or don't convince her by your laziness.
Mm-hmm.
Don't show. You have to put a lot of time into your beard. If you show her that you're putting as much time into crafting and sculpting your beard as she puts into putting on makeup, then it's going to put y'all on a similar playing field as far as putting your face on, so to speak. And
That's brilliant.
Well, Steve, I'm
That's what I think.
in the reverse thing. I love beards, and my husband won't grow one
Why not?
because it'll take him like a year because he can't. But yeah, so I digress. I've got a big thing for like beard and glasses. Ooh, I love that.
Beards are nice. I like beards too. But it's one of those things. In my situation, if one of us doesn't like beards, then we both just grow beards.
See?
Like, there you go. You're gonna grow a beard, bitch. I'm gonna grow one too. But I don't look very good with a beard. I don't think so. I'm not. I tried it before, and it's too patchy.
I've never seen it.
It's
I've
too
seen,
patchy.
I've seen,
It was like a
the
couple of
soul
years ago.
patch.
Do you remember my beard? And it didn't.
I thought it looked
didn't-
good, but-
I thought it looked. Well, maybe
He's
I
a
was.
beard enthusiast.
Maybe I was too critical of myself. I thought it looked patchy.
I thought it looked good, but
It wasn't. I was holding myself to your beard standard, and your beard was amazing. And so
My
that's
beard
a pretty,
is amazing,
It casts a very
yeah.
long shadow, and I just felt like there was no chance I could ever approach that beard awesomeness. So
Wow.
why bother?
It is a pretty awesome beard I have. I try.
It is.
It's so
pretty
weird
awesome.
getting used to you without it.
Well, yeah, I had to shave. I had to,
Headshots.
try to look pretty.
Headshots. And now that
you
you've
can-
shaved, beards will come back. And
Yeah, now you can
everyone
grow
will
it
be
back,
having
and
beards
anytime you
there.
got a call, you just... meow, meow.
I mean, I can grow a full beard in about a week. So
See, it's
pretty
I love
lucky.
that.
it takes me like 4 weeks to grow like a decent half-assed beard.
I hope I never can. I hope I never have to join this conversation where I'm like, yeah, tell me about it.
It really takes me a week to grow a full beard too.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Oh, that's coming in, and Steven just no. Yeah. Let me see. Cassie Unger wants to know if
Yes.
if you could switch places with any character you have voiced, who would it be and why? That one guy, that one time.
That dude. Because it was awesome. Thank you. Okay, next question, please. I don't know, and the reason is because like to switch places with any of those characters would be me giving up my my life, my family, my $150 I have in a bank account in Switzerland, and that's a fortune I just cannot stand to get rid of. You know, I'd have to give up my signed Clive Barker poster, and which is one of my prized possessions. But I don't know. You know, I like Sanji because you know he can cook, and I like to cook, and I've always wanted to eat some of the crazy shit they eat on One Piece.
That's a pretty insane food. On it.
And I've always liked to, you know, I would love to sail on seas of things that aren't water, like clouds and shit like that. It'd be pretty awesome.
Well done.
So probably him. What you got, Tatum?
I have an Aquarion question.
Bring it.
These never get asked because Aquarion is still
Who's
kind
it
of.
from?
It is from
Bailey.
Bailey. And let me say, it's one of those long ones. Let me kind of scan it first to make sure I don't screw this one up and be like, dude, you never met this person. I just
Yeah, don't
need
be
to-
like the
how do I
valedictorian that
get
didn't
work?
memorize a speech.
How do I get work? I do not understand this.
Me neither.
Thank God no one ever asked you.
Oh, yeah. Voodoo.
Okay, this is funny. This is this is a very involved question, but kind of not. Okay. In Aquarion, Sirius says this one quote. It's now my most favorite quote ever. I use it as often as I can. Quote, it felt like 10,000 white roses caressing me. Do you remember that line?
Yes, I do.
I do.
He rolled his eyes, by the way.
I don't know why that line in particular killed me. Maybe it's because it was early in the series and I hadn't got used to the oddness that is Aquarion. In any case, the question I wanted to ask was, what was it like saying all those super poetic-esque lines? Because I'm not going to lie, I couldn't even type that line without giggling a little. Then again, maybe I'm just immature, for which I apologize. Great job on the show, by the way. It was pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Next
And what was it like? Yeah, next question. What was it like saying all those super poetic lines? Mm-hmm. Is that code for ultra gay?
I think so.
Yeah. Look, it was fun because Tatum directed me, and
Oh, yeah, he did.
I did. That was my
I
first
think he
directing gig.
Did it with a dick in his mouth.
He kind of
most of it.
He kind of had to with that show. And just to be clear, it wasn't Eric's dick, so everyone knows.
That's right. It
Like
wasn't.
it was a minute into Eric coming through the door, and it was like balls in the mouth. This is the kind of day it's going to be.
That's right, baby.
I hope you're a method actor. Oh.
It was fun. It was fun saying all that
How
stuff.
both
But
of you are
honestly, when
spoken
you've got Tatum on the other side of the headphones, it's really difficult to get those kinds of lines out of your mouth.
Can I just say, though, I have to tell this story because it makes me think of this story. This is one of my favorite Aquarion stories because Bevins course, played the lead in the same show. And my character, who was the gay character of the show, like the very obviously gay character, because he spends the whole freaking series after the main character played by Bevins. Yeah. There's a moment, and I've told the story many, many times, where Toma, that was my character, was like serenading Apollo, Bevins' character, and the whole monologue ends with the word glistened. And the way I said it was glisten. Right. You know, because how many ways are you going to say that word in that voice, right? And I thought it worked just fine. Bevins came in and recorded that, his response to that line, like 2 weeks later, and where, hearing those beeps, we're all waiting. He's hearing this. He's hearing Toma's, monologue for the first time. Supposed to come in for the line, following it, and rather than hearing him deliver the line, I hear those headphones slap down on that stand, and he comes busting out of the booth like, "I can't do this! I can't do this! I can't do this!" I had to go like wrench him from the break room and like force him. He was such a puss. And his character had no such lines. His character was like the most overtly, like ridiculously masculine character in the entire show. Vale comes in and there's a scene where, and it's like easily the gayest scene in the entire show, which is saying something, by the way.
Yeah.
Where his character and my character improvise a freaking poem together, and all of my shit was already recorded. I had done it. Like, Vale comes in, and whereas Bevins would be on his knees crying at the prospect of having to do a scene, and even remotely like that, Vale comes in there, and I'm like, dude, I'm really sorry. I'm just gonna apologize ahead of time. This is going to be a really gay scene. Vale knocked that out of the park in one freaking take, and we were done, and we laughed, and then we finished early that day because of it. So you're a man for somehow, in some
professional,
some crazy ironic twist.
Models.
The more comfortable you are, Vale proved to me, the more comfortable you are with saying gay shit like that, the more manly it is.
That's right.
There was some pretty gay shit in that show. I mean, that's the show. Yeah, I loved it, but there's some pretty.
Look, man, I go home to a hot wife.
She's pretty damn hot.
Yes,
so
she is.
I'm pretty good.
You are a very lucky man, sir.
I can be as gay as I want to on a microphone.
Now, she's a pretty lucky gal herself, but I still think I'm
the lucky one.
I think you're the one that got the best deal.
I think so.
Yeah, I met her during doing a walla for like El Cazador de la Bruja.
De la Bruja.
But yeah, we were both playing like Clarion's henchmen, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, Eric, you're married to Eric, and she's like, Eric Vale. I'm like, oh.
Sorry.
Why? What happened?
What the hell? Huh? Okay.
Well, that's the response. Like Steven gets like, oh, Terry, she's a director here, and oh. Thank God I didn't say anything bad because I was.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just right up on the mic. Let's see. We got a comment here from Alan McLeod. Is it McLeod? McLeod?
Probably McLeod. I think it's McLeod.
Alan M.
Alan. It's gonna be McLeod. If it's Alan McLeod, he's probably drunk right now. What do you say?
Why? Because it's an Irish sounding name?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
No, because his name.
Oh my God! Wait, real quick. Okay, I have to tell you, I went to a website where they did like a Photoshop contest or something, and it was a bunch of like really politically incorrect games. And there were many that are totally inappropriate to say on the air. But the best one, do you remember the game Spill the Beans or like Don't Spill the Beans?
Yeah.
With like the little cauldron and everything, and you had to like tilt it backwards.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous game. It's like a preschool game, right? And
I didn't go to preschool.
But somebody had redone it and like drawn faces and stuff on the beans, and it was called "Don't Feed the Irish." I'm sorry, I just said that.
I'm Irish.
So am I. So like we're both we're both from the Isles.
I don't care.
Look at this skin. Come on, tell me.
Come on. You don't know what it's like to have the sun hate you as much as it hates us.
No, because I have melanin.
That's right. I don't.
Those are just kisses.
I don't. They sold all of my melanin on the black market. How did you think they came to be known as the black market?
Oh, and scene.
Thank you.
So we have a fan guy?
Wow.
That was smart humor, guys. That was smart.
It was humor.
It was smart. Shut up. You don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing about nothing.
You don't know nothing about nothing.
Well,
I know nothing about a lot of things. Wait. Damn you!
Do I?
I'm going to state for the record, I'm a fan of Eric. And sometimes his work. But really, I'm just a fan of Eric
makes
as
one
a
of us.
person. Alan is a big fan of your work, particularly in Beck. And he just wanted to let you guys know that. And also to extend congratulations and thanks for your character in that thing. Beck.
Beck?
I thought there was
you're
a mention
welcome.
of initial D, but maybe I was wrong.
Well,
Yeah, you're in a lot. Did you know that? It's crazy.
I heard that somewhere on the Googles.
Beck is a great show, by the way. I love that freaking show.
I have not
love
seen it yet.
Thank you.
My cousin bugged me about it. Tried to get me to get her a free copy, but I want to watch it. I do.
How long ago was that now? Was it like 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Beck? Is it like 4 years ago now?
Yeah.
It's an
something
awesome
like
show.
that.
I'm like, I love that show. It's one of the few. I'm in it for like 2 lines at some point for like an extra, but I got copies
So it is
anyway.
a good show.
No, but I'm saying it's one of the few things that I'll actually watch that I'm not in. If that sounds egotistical. I mean, I watch the stuff I'm in just because, I want to learn, but there's no time to watch like 26 episode stuff anymore. But I've watched Beck all the way through many times. I freaking love that show.
Find a way. I still need to watch it.
way.
I think that's it for questions right now. Well, there are a couple for
There's
us.
a couple
Bailey.
questions. We can get to those later.
Here, I'll read them.
All right.
They're at the bottom.
Dear
The 2
Eric.
bottom ones.
Oh, no, then I'll see all the hate mail that's on there, too. Dear
That's
Eric,
fine.
How dare you?
Dear Eric, what the fuck? Why do you have to be such a prick all of the time? Why does everyone hate you? Signed,
Stephen Hoff.
Stephen Hoff. Well, thank you for the question, Stephen. I assume everyone hates me because of all of the things I do.
They're just jealous. Jealous.
I think people are jealous. Look, I think you're using the Jedi mind trick, Terry. Okay.
No, okay. Again, I'm just, preparing my new co-host. It's this is going to be so much fun. Not like the other shows.
Finally, I get my Saturdays back.
I love you.
I know you think you do.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't know.
Oh, look. Oh, so you're not going to read this.
Oh, I just wanted to see the pages.
Oh, you just want to see. Oh, I thought you were going to ask us these questions.
I'll ask you the
I
questions.
thought that's what you're
No.
going to do. Use the 2 bottom ones are like the ones that there's one for Terry, and I think that I saw my name on one of
to
them.
Terry. This is from Bailey.
Bailey.
Otto.
That's actually the person's last
and
name.
that's my ringtone now.
I also have a question for Terry while I'm at it. In the first big wind-up episode, Mihashi is walking past a bunch of students who are talking about their clubs, I think. Can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure a girl in the background says something like, "Do you have multiple personality disorder? Join the theater club!"
Yeah.
It was awesome. I was just wondering who that was and if there was a story behind that, or if it was actually in the original script or something. Thank you for Big Wind Up. It is one of my favorites now.
Was that the part in all caps?
Yes, that was in
Yeah.
all caps.
I am an actor. Yes. Oh, well, all of us were in Big Wind Up. Yay.
That's true.
Woo. Yeah. Eric, I was in that show.
Like you're Peter O'Toole, like you're just drunk all the time. We just wheel you in and
Wow.
make you say things you have no memory of it. That's hilarious. It's not
But,
true. Eric is a
to-
consummate professional.
To
I'm
answer
sorry,
your
I am
question-
maybe a consummate professional, but I do have a tendency to be drunk all of the time. I'm kidding.
To answer your
It's
question,
acting
Bailey,
juice.
I didn't direct the first 7 episodes. That was Christopher Bevins. But I was interning at that time, and I can tell you it more than likely was not in the original, but we just kind of guessed because all of us have at least taken one theater class where someone felt that it would be therapeutic rather than educational. So
finally, I can take a class where people are forced to listen to my bullshit.
And they're like, all right, now blah, blah, blah is going to do a monologue. Oh, fuck. I mean, great.
I'll be playing Lizzie Borden. I knew a crazy fucking girl in high school that
just you, no one else.
Yeah, I didn't date her.
No, okay, no, seriously, I knew. Okay, first of all, I knew many,
by the way.
I knew many crazy girls in high school drama class, and all of them.
Again, it should have been.
No, but it was funny how whenever we'd have to do like our year end or like our semester, like our test was you had to get up and do like either a scene or a monologue, and most of these girls would do a monologue, and they always chose. It was one of two. It was some monologue. I don't even know the play.
Agnes of God.
No. That was far advanced for us. This was in Podunk Town. They either did a Lizzie Borden monologue, which was always extremely appropriate, or they did some monologue about some chick whose boyfriend like plummets to his death off of a like a merry-go not a merry-go-round. That wouldn't make sense, but
I fell a foot
and he's dead.
I sprained my ankle to death.
Sorry, my boyfriend was a beetle. It's Doodlebug. No, it's some monologue about a chick who like goes out on a date for like the first time with this guy she's always loved, and like he ends up committing suicide when their Ferris wheel gets to like the top. He like jumps and leaves her, and I've always found it to be a rather hysterical monologue because it's so stupid. And
like they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. That was first date.
Like it's your first fucking date.
Just
my God,
you
dodged the bullet as far as I'm concerned. But
look, trust me.
But the crazy bitches always did that or the Lizzie Borden monologue, always. And I'm like, it was too convincing. Too convincing. Like, this isn't acting. This is your crazy just getting free vent. That's all.
Yeah, welcome to theater.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I was young at the time. I didn't realize theater was for crazy people. I thought it was for normal people that just didn't want to do sports.
Well, yeah,
that too. It's for both.
It is for both. Well, it's either that or, well, for us, for my high school, a lot of people were just like, Neil Simon. Oh, just fucking pick something. I'm just like...
Bear from the park. Really? Really?
I think my last monologue in high school was like, noises off.
See, everyone in my school, everyone was doing the same stuff. Neil Simon, Agnes of God, all this stuff, and blah, 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 blah. And I whipped out Apocalypse Now, and I think my theater teacher shit in their pants. I'm sitting there doing a Kurtz monologue about people cutting off the monologue where he talks about the Viet Cong cutting off all the arms of the kids that were inoculated.
Like genius of that.
And I remember seeing my teachers in the back of the classroom with their jaws on the floor and their eyes as big as, Wile E. Coyote.
That wasn't your acting. They were just terrified of getting sued.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
I remember there was a guy that did that monologue in our class as well one year when we had this is how Podunk our town was. We had a drama like a Follies ice cream social, and
what?
I don't even know. Like it was a talent show ice cream social where it was in the frickin' cafeteria, which had this Podunk little stage on it. Wasn't even the proper auditorium.
It's podunk.
Podunk. It's like that is the only word to describe the school I went to at the time. It is much improved since I've left, but when I was there, man, that theater department was sad.
Your mascot was a stash.
But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah. The kid did that too, and no one could hear him because he didn't know how to project. So no one was horrified. Everyone was just like leaning in and going, "I don't know what he's saying."
Talking.
He'd be like, and then like it was like, dude,
slowly I turn.
Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, high school theater.
I think Bailey's got something for you.
I got something from Bailey. Okay. And now a quick note to Michael Tatum, if he has the time. at
What is
OhioCon, right? 2010.
Yeah,
You held a Q&A.
I did.
You probably don't remember, but my friends and I were sitting in the front row for it, and we had to leave only a little after it started, since our ride
seem
had
to
gotten
remember
there
that.
and refused to wait. Damn it.
Bitches.
We were a decent number of people, and it was obvious when we got up and started leaving. I think you might have even said something, prick.
I think I remember this.
But I didn't catch it. I just wanted to apologize for that.
Aww.
I felt very rude to just get up and leave like that.
Aww.
So I gave you the finger as I walked down the aisle. And I mooned you when I got to the
I
door.
do remember that.
No.
No.
So it says,
I was really listening, I'm
suppose
like-
it doesn't matter much, but I felt really bad about that. So even if you don't remember it,
I do
it makes
remember.
me feel better to... No, you don't, liar.
I do remember.
It makes
I always
me feel
remember
better
when
to
large
let
groups
you know.
of people get up and walk out of one of
Right,
my panels.
rude, right?
Really? After
Because
this
I
many
always
years?
been like, after this many years. I've been like doing the con thing for like 9 months now, and I'm kind of like, I'm still getting used to it. But I remember that. I remember like this huge group of people just getting up and walking out like about like 15, 20 minutes into my panel, and I was like, was it something I said? And I don't remember
They
what
go,
I don't remember what I
"Yes."
said. I probably just said something to the effect of like, "Oh, that's fine, go. That's fine. Who needs you?" And I just did it to be joking,
Well,
but
you
I
did.
figured they probably had something else to get to. Because at cons, that's my defense. That's my coping mechanism. Like they may be walking out because they just freaking hate me and have decided after seeing me for 5 minutes that they hate me even more than they thought they did. But
Yes.
I have the sort of delusional built-in coping mechanism where I'm like, they probably had something they had to really get to, and I'm
Or, some bitch ride who wouldn't wait on him.
yeah that.
Well, I'm just
You were
going
doing
to fucking leave, man.
You were doing like the my date didn't show up thing. Like maybe they had a flat tire.
They had a flat tire. Maybe he's dead.
Maybe.
I gotta get home and wash my hair, guys.
How fucking filthy is your hair?
I know, right?
For really?
I've got a lot of hair.
I don't know. If I stood up a date, or I don't think I ever stood it up. It's like, hey, guess what? I'm not going. I realized I really don't like you that much. I don't like you enough to have a free meal.
Dating is disgusting. I wish I don't even like my dating period was abysmal. My early 20s, I don't even remember most of them. That's how bad they were. Like I only remember the really bad ones. And if that's like those were I only remember parts of them.
Well,
I'm
because
like,
the good ones aren't good stories. Come on.
like I remember the guy that was on the phone the entire meal, like to his ex or something, and I'm like, oh, this is
Baby, no. Baby,
this is
no.
a great.
This will just take a second.
This is a great.
No, I'll be done with this dinner in like 5 minutes. I'll be right over.
You're right. But yeah, I've never been good at dating people, and I discovered that.
I've been
in
an
my
asshole
20s.
like numerous times. I think I'm like that story that they just tell people later, like this bitch
Oh my
broke
god!
up with me in front of 20 of her coworkers because you were annoying. That's why.
Yeah. I've done a lot of bad things.
And they're like war stories. So it's just like, ugh.
They really
They are like war stories.
Let me tell you.
I was there.
I still have the cat that this one girlfriend that I lived with for a while brought into our apartment, and I keep him and have kept him since mid '90s is when I got him, and we kind of went through war together, so we're pretty tight. Me and that cat.
She
like
left,
veterans.
and the cat even was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. That's right.
You've been happily married for a number of years now, haven't you?
Yeah,
You're like,
almost 7.
Dang.
I know.
That's awesome.
Boom. That's right.
I will have been not married, but together for 9 years.
Yeah.
in December.
It's about the same amount of time as I've been with my wife, just not married.
Yeah,
Because dated for about 2 years before we.
yeah. Well,
Maybe a little bit
we
longer
dated for
than
a couple
that.
of years before we moved in together. And
Yeah.
so now it's
Same
been
thing.
we've kind of followed the
About the same time.
pattern.
Yeah.
It's weird to think that a decade has passed because in some respects, it feels like no time at all has passed. Because I can remember, like, dude, you remember that night, like, at the old apartment? It feels like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
In other respects, I'm like, whoa, dude, no. Then that feels like years ago, because it was. But it's very strange. Yeah. It's very strange growing older with someone. It's your sense of time is skewed.
I hate that.
Not getting older.
It is. It's weird, though.
Oh, I am. Help me.
Well, you look damn good for someone that's getting older, let me just say, because you do look good.
Thank
Both
you.
you and your wife, of course. So you're aging quite well. Whatever.
Yeah.
You're not aging. You're staying the same. Y'all like made some deal with the devil or something, and you're both...
Shut up. Don't fucking talk about it.
Not supposed to talk about it.
We don't talk about it. You know, once the floor to crack open, we'll fall into that hole.
Like the big Muppet devil comes up out of the floor. I told you never to tell someone that!
That's right. Damn.
There was okay, this is
Fucking
really stupid. There was
Muppets.
an episode of the Muppet Show where they were like, I told, like, they were doing the Witch Doctor song, and it was like the Witch Doctor devil, like, puppet, like the big monster ogre, like, puppet that was, like, manned by a guy and giant mouth and everything, and he was doing... No, it wasn't... Okay, never mind.
You're a fucking
Fuck, that was
liar.
Somebody
Good
was on stage. Somebody was on stage doing the Witch Doctor song. You know, I went to the Witch Doctor and he told me what to say, like ooh ee ooh ah or whatever the fuck.
Ooh,
and,
ee, ooh,
and he
ah.
had all these little fur balls that he would hit like a xylophone, and they would each have a particular note. And, and it was really funny because he went through the whole song at the very end. Like the Witch Doctor appears and like beats him. He's like, "I told you never to tell anyone." And I always found that to be rather funny. Apparently, I was the only one.
I'm glad you did.
I'm glad we got to hear that story twice, because that was...
I flubbed it the first time.
Made it even better the second time. Would you tell it a third time, Michael?
Sure.
You're like that kid that changed the story.
I know. So what happened with that whole Muppet thing, Michael? Come on, tell it again.
That's what my grandmother was very fond of saying, of using bullshit so you can tell the same story twice.
See? Yes.
I'm a master at that. Well, I like to think I'm a master. I'm not, because the seams are showing, but
Yes, they are.
I do tell the same story at least a dozen times.
I know.
And it's funny, and I know I do this, and you have to understand, I'm totally self-aware. That doesn't excuse my behavior, but I am aware of it. Like, I know if I'm telling a story and I'm like, so yeah, you've probably heard this story before, and everyone goes, yeah, but I'll tell it again anyway.
No, this is what you do. I'm like, hey, blah, blah, blah.
No.
Hey. Oh my god, this reminds me of this one time. I'm like, yeah, sweetie, you told me. And it's like me, Joshua, and just Steven. And you're like, so you know what I'm about to say. It's just... And Josh, I love Joshua always whispers. He's like, let's see what's going to be different about this time. Yeah.
That's the worst part about being with someone for so long. They know all your stories, so they catch you when you fucking try to change them or you mix them up, and you're like, dude, just let me tell this. This person doesn't know. Stop fucking killing the mood. It's about mood. It doesn't have to be true. Jesus, the true stories are boring.
God, what a horrible partner, not letting me lie.
Yeah, that's like the deal.
Repetitive, yeah.
Oh yeah, I make shit up all the time.
Isn't that's the whole point of having someone is
Have you ever
someone
found-
to back your shit up when you lie through your teeth. That's like one of
That's right.
That's one of the perks.
That's my favorite thing about having a partner, having somebody to stand by me. I go to a party that I don't want to be at, which doesn't happen all that often because we don't get out of the house all that often, you know, because, you know, kids and life and everything. Jesus Christ. Okay, pull it together.
Damn it.
No, but when we do get out to parties and, you know, you find yourself, it happens to everybody, you find yourself sitting there talking to that person who is just the right person that you don't want to talk to. And you're like, oh crap, I gotta sit here and talk to this person, and this person sucks, and I don't want to talk to... You know what, I'm just gonna make a story up. And I just start making shit up. It's like, I'm gonna lie to you and tell you that I was an astronaut. I worked for NASA for just a couple years. I started the space shuttle program. I started on it. It was after college. They approached me when I was working on some scientific theories.
They needed fresh, new blood.
And I will start talking and talking and talking until that person goes away.
That's fun.
And my wife will back me up on everything.
Steven's pretty good about that too. But the last one that we went to was a Christmas party that we really didn't want to go to begin with, and we felt like the most racist dude found us. I started talking about how he like really hates. I'm not even gonna. Obviously what he said. And Steven goes, "Wow." And he waited till the guy turned around. The guy turned back around and was like, "I'm gonna fucking cut this guy." And the guy's like, so you guys have a good night. And he's like, he heard me. I'm like, so? He's like,
one can lie for good. I did that. I encountered a person who was very casually racist once.
Casually racist.
Yeah, and you know the person that's like they're not passionate about it. They just say words like that, just thinking that you're totally on board because you're white. You must know what it's like to hate, you know. And you're like, why do you assume that? It's like it's a weird like twofold racism. Like, not only are you a racist fuck, but you assume I am too because I'm white,
right?
And so this guy was like talking to me and was using very, very, very foul language, and I finally just lied just to embarrass him, and it worked like a charm. And I was like, dude, you know that my grandfather is black? And he just kind of like, well, I mean, so you're like, oh, and then he like totally tried to turn it around to like, well, I mean, like, not all people. I'm just saying, and I'm like, you should probably stop. And it totally worked. Like, you know, my grandfather's not black. Be cool if he were. It wouldn't matter to me either way, obviously. But it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just lie to make you look like an asshole.
Like assuming
there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
I don't know where this assumption comes. Granted,
good.
I don't consider myself white. Or what, because I'm not. My mother is Hispanic. My dad was English. So, yes, very white. But, like, it was Kyle Phillips. He went, yeah, no. He was talking about something. It wasn't racist or anything. He's like, yeah, I want to start, like, a white girl gang. Terri, you should be in my gang. And I went, I'm not white. He's like, I'm not a girl. And I went, this gang sucks.
So the founding members are not even going to be what you want the gang to be.
What
kind of a shit gang is that?
It's like, no, that's why it's funny. Because I'm like, you really thought I was white? He's like, no. I'm like,
I didn't think you were a girl either. Stuff.
I can see your watch.
Oh yeah,
Michael, that's a pretty watch you have.
Isn't it wonderful? I bought it at an airport for $5.
Did you really?
I did. Well, $6 with tax.
Yeah,
I lost my watch before getting on a plane, and I can't stand being on a plane for longer than a couple of hours and not knowing what time it is because I have to mentally know what time it is, or I'm like, how much longer am I going to be on this flight? I can't. Oh. So I bought this watch at like one of those little crappy like stands. I don't even remember where it was.
You do understand that there are other people on the plane that probably have timepieces.
Like I'm going to get up and ask them, "Hey, excuse me, what time is it?" No,
but everyone just looks at their phone now. Everyone just looks at their phone now. Like
but they make it. They you have to put your phone on airplane mode.
They make you turn it off.
Well, I'm terrified. Like, I'll be okay. Look,
you're gonna turn your phone
really
on, and the plane's gonna crash.
That would be my luck.
That's what you're worried. It's
my
phone.
Somehow my service provider.
Shit! I crashed the fucking plane.
My service provider would
I sit next to Chris Sabat on planes, and they're like, turn off your electronic devices, and Chris Sabat's turning everything on, plugging shit in. He doesn't listen. He doesn't care, and I've always lived barely, mind you.
You're lucky. Barely. No. I don't want to barely make it on a flight.
You want to completely and totally make it.
I don't want to have what happened to happen to Jerry Jewell and Aaron Dismuke and Wendy Powell when they were coming back from Ohio. No, was it Ohio? Yes, it was Ohio this year. OhioCon this year. Their plane blew an engine or two or something, and so they had to make an emergency landing in Kentucky. And they left the night before. The rest of us were still at the con at the dead dog party, and we're all getting messages from Jerry and Wendy going our plane landed in, we're not really sure where, and we're like when you say emergency landing, you landed at an airport, right? You're not in a field somewhere, and they were in an airport, but they didn't know where at first, and it was frightening. I never want to be on a flight where that happens. I would lose my shit
off that plane and onto a car.
Yeah, well, and that's all fine and good, but when the pilot actually, when you're on the plane and the pilot says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to make a emergency landing," there's really not a lot you can do but just sit there and be like, "Well, I hope I live." That would be really awesome.
That's pretty much any time you get on a plane, though.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I do every time. I hope I live.
But at least when you're on a plane and the plane is flying smoothly, it is easier to believe you're going to make it.
Not for me.
When the plane starts shaking and things are falling off and the pilot sounds frantic, the illusion kind of wears thin.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I was sitting next to a woman. I tried to sleep on the flight to this last convention I went to in Chicago, ASIN, and I was like, it's gonna be. I just want to sleep because I didn't sleep very well the night before because it was a really early flight. And I thought, I'll take a nap on the plane. That'll be fine. And I was totally going to. And this woman sitting next to me was terrified. I mean, abjectly terrified of being on a plane. So every time I would nod off and the plane would rock a little bit as they do, she'd be like, oh God. And she'd like grab the seat and I'd be like, what? Oh. So I, just to be nice, because she seemed like a really nice, just terrified woman, I stayed up the whole flight and just made conversation with her to distract her from the plane. And I didn't sleep at all.
What a
but
bitch.
I'm not afraid of flying unless I'm next to someone who's afraid of flying. And then I'm like, God, you're right. We could just die at any moment. But I don't think about it.
Well, we could die at any moment sitting right here. Plane could crash on us.
But it's still of all planes. If we just got rid of all planes, we wouldn't have that problem. Because it's not like a ship is just going to suddenly like pull up outside.
You don't know that.
But I'm pretty sure. Like, I would, if I were a betting man, I would bet against a ship just suddenly plowing this house.
A spaceship?
But a spaceship, like, that's
Lawyered. Yep.
See?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And on that note, let's take a break.
We're
back from break.
It was a nice break.
You're welcome.
Break.
I had carrots.
I had gum.
I had both. Not at the same time. Because we discussed a carrot-flavored gum, and I don't think that would go over well.
Or how about gum-flavored carrots?
These are horrible.
It's like, carrots suck.
Carrots that chewed like gum. But isn't that would be just, but that you could eat.
I think I pulled those out of my refrigerator yesterday.
They're like, oh, hey, carrots. And if they don't make that crunch.
I am not shitting you. I pulled them out and they bent in half. Like, they didn't break, they bent.
Yeah, when you bite into them, if they don't make that sound, you're like, aw.
I know.
Ugh.
It was gross.
That's horrifying when you get like a bunch of vegetables and you don't get through them in time and you learn things. You're like, oh, I didn't know that happened to them when they go bad.
I know.
Wow, this one grew eyes. This one has legs.
What do you mean the squash gives birth to a platypus? I had no idea.
What market are you going to?
Oh, that's a weird one.
I remember, seeing a cucumber go bad is disgusting. Like,
it's really awful.
A cucumber had somehow made it to the back of my crisper, and I had like underneath all this good stuff, and I totally forgot about it for like almost a year, and which makes it sound like I belong on that show Hoarders, but I really don't. I had forgotten about it. It was hidden, and I pulled it out, and it had become a sea cucumber. Like, I realized it was totally viscous.
So
it
disgusting.
barely held its shape. It wasn't even. I'm not talking flimsy, like a hot dog weenie or something. I mean, it was virtually liquid that somehow held its shape. And the minute I picked it up, because it was still wrapped in plastic, it was like, oh my God, I get it. Oh,
Ew.
it was
awesome.
Gross. Oh.
All right.
So,
Mr.
on that note,
Eric Vale.
What up?
We have more questions.
We have questions, and I'm going to ask one from Miss Tara. I'm assuming Caraway.
Ask question now.
Eric.
What?
You ready for this?
No, but
Ready for
okay.
this fucking gem right
Bring
now?
it. Bring that shit.
If a person is in a wheelchair, are they still considered a pedestrian?
If they are in the street.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, was that your answer?
That's like for fucking real, yeah. I mean, they're not a pedestrian if they're in the mall. You know, they're just
What are they in
a
the mall?
person.
I think don't you have to be
Just
like
a
to be
person.
like because the distinction is pedestrian or motorist, right? So
Right.
what if you're in a wheelchair that's got a motor? That would seem to blur the line.
No,
Like if you're in a hover around or
you're
something.
you're still a pedestrian.
That seems kind of
Yeah,
that doesn't
well-
seem like as much fun.
You're still a pedestrian because you cannot get a licensed wheelchair.
This is true.
You cannot license your wheelchair with the state.
That'd be awesome if you could, though.
Speaking of which, it totally
Someday,
reminded me.
maybe.
I was watching a scooter store commercial, and Julie Mayfield was on it, and I found that hilarious.
Oh, that's funny. I know.
Like,
And explain that
What
it's
the
funny not
fuck?
because we think it's funny because she's in a hover round. It's because she's not ever. She doesn't need one. She's totally very spry woman.
yes.
But I want to get one of those just to have because you feel special.
Get what?
Get like a hovered round.
And if your insurance doesn't cover
it.
it, we'll just give it to you. I'm like,
My
I'm like, well, then why do you even go through the insurance? Just give them the fucking thing.
my parents have one after my grandfather. My grandfather had one. He passed away, and my parents took it. And so now they drive my daughter around whenever she spends time over there. It's hysterical.
I'm sure she loves it.
She thinks it's the greatest thing.
You think about some of the the things that like your parents or your grandparents especially had like when you were a kid. You're just like, this is awesome.
Oh, I know.
Like some of the most simple shit. Like you remember like a box. Box could be anything.
Oh, no. I know. Like, man, I totally want a little round pillow to sit on.
Mom, why don't we have one of these?
I had my great grandmother.
Because you don't have hemorrhoids, Terry.
I want hemorrhoids.
You want hemorrhoids? Or you get a pillow.
My great grandmother, who I barely remember because she passed away when I was very young, but she's like ancient, had a blue vacuum cleaner, like an old fashioned like Hoover bag vacuum cleaner, and I loved that fucking thing.
Why?
Because I could pull it out of that closet. I never plugged it in; they wouldn't let me plug it in. But I would chase. She had a little black poodle that I would scare to death with that thing and chase it around the house with, and that was like my favorite pastime as a child. Until from the ages of like 3 to 4 or 5 or something like that, it's like I love chasing this poor beast around with this gigantic fucking metal and plastic like blue vacuum cleaner. It's the weirdest memory. I hadn't thought of that in years.
You're nice.
Am I nice?
No. Not at
That
all.
wasn't I'm telling that story very badly if that's what you're walking away with.
No. That's
You're just being
sarcasm.
See,
Well, I'm pretty
you're
sure
very good.
there's just
sarcasm.
Yeah.
sarcasm with us.
No.
I love. Like I was outside smoking, like at a coffee shop in Arlington, and someone actually mentioned, they're like, "Okay, do we all have to be that sarcastic, like constantly?" And I went, "No," like that. And he's like, "You are just what? It's natural."
Yeah, you do. Sarcasm's funny.
It's a natural thing. Most people do it. If you can't do it, I think there's something socially wrong with you. Because I find that sarcasm tends to be the basis of most social discourse.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
My mom's horrible at it
It
because
is.
anytime she's being sarcastic, she does like a little giggle. You know, like it's just like, "Oh no, I didn't." It's like we get that you're being sarcastic. You know, have to.
You understand, right? Yes.
Yes.
My mother has a very, very... And my mother's a smart woman. By no means is she stupid, but she does not have a very sophisticated sense of humor. She does not get sarcasm. She does not get satire. Like if she could watch an episode of The Simpsons, and if they make fun of, say, George W. Bush or something, she doesn't see it as they're making fun of George W. Bush. She sees it as they're espousing his views, and she finds, she takes umbrage with that. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's actually, they're making fun of him. And she just doesn't get it. Like, she gets the most basic toilet humor. And that's it. My mom.
Toilet
Is this
humor.
1895?
Yes.
Espousing, take umbrage. Nanny, boo-boo, stick your head in doo-doo. Come on, bring it down a notch there, Mr. Hoity-toity.
What? You understood what I said.
I know.
So shut up.
I love the look though.
I
like
read
Eric's
one
just like,
book.
He
"Look
looks at me and
me."
starts
And so I
chewing
look
the
at
fucking
him.
microphone. I'm like, dude, I said umbrage and espouse.
Espouse to take umbrage with it.
I didn't sound like that. You're an ass.
You did. You sounded like a quail.
They're pretty words. I like using pretty
I
words.
know you do.
Too many words are dying
It
out. I don't want
amuses
to.
me.
I have a nightmare of living to be old enough to see people like that only have 5-word vocabulary.
Like-
You know what? I
Idiocracy,
expect it. I expect it.
I
now.
don't.
You know
I
what?
will fight it tooth and nail.
No. I expect it from you. You know what? At this point, I'm gonna shift gears. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do for you, Mr. Tatum. This is what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna shift
please
gears.
don't. Whatever.
I'm gonna stop making fun of you for using big words, and I'm gonna start making fun of you for not using big words. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. I don't.
That was
believe
not
you.
a big word.
We are in agreement. Yes. Go for it.
That's right. See, I can be as juvenile as I want to over here because I talk like a sailor, and it's all
I do
good.
too. I've never. I talk like a sailor. I'm not above.
Not like a sailor in like the
speaking
British
like-
Navy.
I'm not
saying fuck or cocksucker or douchebag.
not hearing any SAT words.
I find that rather perfunctory.
Variety. Damn it.
Variety's not a big word. It's the name of a magazine.
Shut the fuck up.
It's the name of a magazine. Parade.
Parade.
So this is a question that comes
Vanity
from
Fair.
This comes
Other
from
magazine.
J_P. This is a question for you, Mr. Vale. Can you tell us anything about the movie based on a story you wrote?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Well, that answers that question.
Moving on.
Next question, please. No, yes, I can. Well, okay. I'll tell you about multiple things because it all has to do with one another. Well, okay. So to answer that question, I wrote a story called "The Beautiful Middle of Nowhere." Was published in Slice magazine last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I've been working on developing that story into a feature screenplay. Working. And, I'm not going to give away anything and tell anybody what the story is about.
Please don't.
But I will tell you if you want to find out what the story is and find out what it's about. It's, in Slice Magazine's 4th issue. And you can go to slicemagazine.org and pick the issue up.
Slicemagazine.org.
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 That's right. It's a really awesome.
And the title of the story again?
It's called The Beautiful Middle of Nowhere.
The Beautiful Middle of Nowhere, issue 4 of Slice Magazine.
That's right.
Excellent.
And it's a drama.
.org.
The story is a drama about a relationship between a man and his father. So anyway,
cool.
But the other thing that I'm working on right now is another feature film that I'm actually getting right ready to shoot. We're going to shoot this summer, and that's called Purity. That film is finished. I think we've talked about that before. I don't know if Terry and I have talked about that before, but
I don't think so.
Anyway, the film is getting ready. We're going to start casting here in a couple weeks and shoot probably throughout the month of July, dip on into August a little bit. And anybody who has the wherewithal to assist us in the production of this, please let me know. And you can find me on Facebook at the amazing Eric Vale fan page. I did not
search it.
That's really what it's called.
I think it was amazing.
I love that.
I think it is.
I didn't put it together. Somebody else did. Or you can email me at ericvalerocks@gmail.com.
Can you describe the project a little bit?
Yeah, it's about a small Texas town, or it takes place in a small Texas town, and it's all about a murder that happens there. It's kind of a hot noir thriller on the level of kind of Blood Simple. If y'all have seen Blood Simple, I'm sure.
Great movie.
Right. So it's about this girl who's trying desperately to escape this small town, and this young man who comes back after a long absence, and she sees him as her ticket out of this town. Mm-hmm. But during the two of them sort of rediscovering one another and re-falling for one another, this other couple is busy planning her murder. And then they do. Sweet. And it's pretty...
And these are
intense.
All full length?
Yes, these are feature films.
Cool.
So, but anyway, that thing is, like I said, it's written. We've got our locations locked down. We're ready to roll with that sucker. I'm just trying to get a little bit more money in the bank and get the thing cast, and we're ready to roll.
Sweet.
So, but I need more hands on deck. So, anybody who lives around here and wants to come help us make a goddamn movie, bring that shit. So
maybe, I don't know. I just love doing more film crap.
Me too. It's important to branch out, especially in the entertainment business. You cannot make a living doing one thing. That's what I've learned.
No,
and that's what we've
impossible.
Been stressing to, those that email us and how do I become a voice actor? It's well, you see the voice actors at work quite often, they don't just voice act.
Right.
Yeah,
no, the reason I'm making the feature film is because all 3 of my short films were picked up for distribution. Mm-hmm. And if my shorts are going to be picked up for distribution, I'm assuming I can get a feature picked up for distribution. It might be, a little premature, maybe a little naive, but...
No,
I'm going to ignore all that. Fuck it, and get the goddamn movie made.
Well, see, but that's
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
That's right.
Exactly. Well,
Let's talk for a minute while we're on the subject of you writing and
Yes.
what you love to do.
Yes.
And what you're quite good at too, because I've read a number of your stuff. Obviously,
Thank you.
Worked with a lot of your scripts,
Yeah.
professionally, and
I haven't
worked with you.
ever.
Written with
Never.
But I've read stories. I've read a couple outside scripts of yours that was because and they're quite good. I'm very fond of you as a writer.
Thank you.
How did you find your way into it? I don't mean professionally, because that's kind of I mean, you can get there if you want to, but like why writing? Like what brought you to it? What made you a writer?
It was the only thing I could get away with doing when I was sitting in class and I didn't want to pay attention.
That's a good answer.
That's it.
I like it.
You know?
So so do you have to like be in a classroom in order to write? No.
No.
Like, if your ideal
Dad, what are
situation,
you
would you like be in a
doing
really
here?
boring classroom and be like, dude, I need that or I can't get the creative juices flowing?
No.
Yeah, there's a section of his
Not
house
anymore.
that's just modded out like a classroom.
You'd be surprised how much I can get done in in that kind of environment. Well, I mean, my house right now is kind of a classroom with my kids and, running around. They're running around like mad, especially the little one. And I have to work inside of that environment. So you kind of have to busy yourself with blocking your head out of that moment and focus on what you're doing. So it's kind of like the same thing. But no, man, when I was like 12 or, right around 12 and I started to find myself in classrooms in school where, we were focusing on things that either weren't of issue for me because I already knew what we were talking about. So I didn't need to pay attention in class. I would write. Or it was, for whatever reason, the classroom didn't interest me. I would write. And I figured, I always did my schoolwork and got my grades and stuff. So it wasn't like I blew school off. I mean, I did it.
You were just ahead of the curve, so you could...
A little bit, but, I focused and wrote in class and did my homework at home. And then when I started writing, I realized writing and acting, they kind of went hand in hand because the more you did one, the more it helped the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you're making up words, it kind of helps you figure out how to say them.
Sure.
As an actor, and as an actor, saying them helps you figure out how to write them. So they seem to really work well for me doing both. So I just always did both. And
so what kind of writers inspired you then as a young man and now continue to write? Are there any particular writers or filmmakers, screenwriters that you find that are kind of your inspiration? Or
well, I was, when I first started writing, I was reading a lot of Clive Barker. I mentioned him already.
Because he's awesome.
Because he is. And that's when I first started to try to emulate when I was a kid. And then when I started trying to write screenplays, instead of following screenwriters, I started reading plays and following playwrights, and David Mamet in particular, and that kind of
nice.
That kind of writing. So, I like that kind of stuff. I like also John Patrick Shanley. You know him?
I don't know that name.
You should read some of his stuff. You'd like it.
I should. What's he written? Anything you'd recommend for someone who's never read him before?
Well, the thing that you'd probably know right off the top of your head is Joe versus the Volcano.
Oh, okay.
It's one of my favorites.
Awesome. I love that. I love that movie. I freaking love that movie.
He's a playwright first and foremost.
Okay. I guess, I can... Yeah. It makes sense now, kind of thinking about that movie. I'm like, I could see that's very much, I could see that as a playwright having written that very easily. Not easily, but I mean, like, I could see now. That's a very playwright written movie.
Yeah.
In a way.
He's awesome.
I love that freaking. I do.
I got the name right, didn't I?
Say the name again?
So.
It's John Patrick Shanley, right?
I
Google
don't know.
that shit.
Yeah,
Your guess
Google
is as
that
good as
shit.
mine.
Make sure I'm not screwing the name up.
Like, dear Eric, what the fuck is wrong
Yeah,
You're gonna get an email from him.
I think I'm. For a second, there's that voice in the back of my head that says, you screwed the name up. And I think I'm right. Anyway.
What else has he done besides Joe versus the Volcano?
Oh, see, now the Google in my head's not working now.
He's mostly a playwright, so...
Well, he's done films, and he was a playwright as well. But his film work is not that extensive. He hasn't done a whole lot of film work. But his plays are very much like Joe versus the Volcano, and they very satirical. Play a lot on religious conventions and shit like that.
I'll have to check him out.
Very clever.
I'll have to check him out. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
So,
Well, I mean, okay, I don't know that much. How long have you been, doing the anime stuff? How did you get into that facet of the industry?
I was delivering pizzas in Denton, Texas, and the girl who played Bulma wandered into the pizza joint one night, handed me a phone number, and I called the phone number to audition, and I auditioned and booked the voice of Trunks not too long thereafter. And started doing that and did the voice of Trunks for about a year while continuing to still work at the pizza joint, and then quit the pizza joint, moved to Dallas, and then I've been doing all this stuff full time ever since. That was about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Damn.
10 years ago.
I think
right?
Cynthia Crans, she was saying something about that. She's like, I got the part of Chi-Chi when I turned 30. And she's like, and now I'm 40.
That sucks.
Oh. She's like, but it's great. It's great. So you, let me see. So it was voice acting first and then writing, or then was it voice acting, directing, then writing, or is it all jumbled together?
You mean at the anime?
Yeah.
With the anime? I started acting. I was acting up there for less than a year when I took a screenplay of mine, handed it over to the head writer, said, do you need any script help? And he said, yeah. And hired me on to start writing. And then I've been doing that ever since, too.
Tra-la-la-la.
Yep.
I think it's cool that you're getting more, outside of that and doing your own screenplays and stuff now. You don't have to match flaps or anything like that.
Oh, it's ridiculous. The whole there's a boot camp mentality to anime. When you have to do it this certain thing one way, and that's the way that it has to be done. You have to match the flaps.
So you think it's very limiting?
It is limiting. I mean, you don't get the chance to do. You can't do a read that you would want to do because you are limited by the way the animation is.
I mean, not to say that they're, that it's, constantly limiting, but, comparatively, to writing something and then having the animation done rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I find, limits are limits, and so it's a double-edged sword. I mean, they can be really, it can be a pain in the ass much of the time, but I find, in my own experience, as frustrating as they are, and they are, you're like, but I want to read it this way, but I can't, because the mouth won't that's not ever going to fit. But I overall, and this is kind of coming at it from a writer's perspective, too, I think. I find that you learn a lot about yourself as an actor and a writer having to work in restrictions like that, because you're totally something that you normally don't have control over. Yeah. Or that you do normally have control. If you're writing a script that's totally your own invention from top to bottom, you have complete freedom over it, to some respects. There's always rules you have to follow, but they're much broader. But, you sit down and you write something, but it's like, I think a lot of some writers, when you're writing adaptive scripts for anime, for example, you have to just focus on, you have no say-so as to plot. And that's all the sort of scaffolding is all there. taken care
No
of.
one's ever read my scripts, then.
So yeah, I mean, you have no choice about that. So you have to, and you have, they're very specific things you cannot change even beyond that. Like certain terms you have to use that you may not want to use because to your ear they sound, they don't sound as good as something else. But you learn a lot. I've learned a lot about just writing and making characters sound distinct within those restrictions and making them sound like, well, you know what? The only thing I can do as a writer is make this sound, I can't write the story. It's not my story. It's not my plot. But the characters, that's where I can bring this out. I can give the characters a subtext maybe that they didn't have, that maybe might give an actor in the booth a little more to chew on than they would otherwise. So I find that, and it's helped me writing other things as well, because now I also focus on that in my more freeform stuff, that I maybe didn't as much before. Because now I'd like to think that because I still write plays and short stories and stuff on the side as well. I like to think that I'm now as good at writing distinct character voices as I am at plot in my other writing. And that just makes you a good writer all around, or at least should ultimately, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's...
But it's boot camp. I mean, it's still...
boot camp.
It's boot camp, but it does make you stronger.
It does, like boot camp should. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, no. Maybe no, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Boot camp made you weaker? Is that
Well, yes. I'm a washout. No. But Eric was just like, I don't fucking care. Get these scripts done. No. It was nice.
That's right.
That you just...
those are deadlines for you. That has nothing to do with the art.
No, Eric was...
This shit's due.
He was a cool boss. He was never like, hey, what the fuck? It's just, hey, so the due date's passed. No. No, it was really cool. I just never thought about it because I interned as a director, and then just you came in to do some big wind-up, and you just randomly asked me. And so, yes, I will do that. I will write, yes.
There you go.
That's kind of how, you approached me much the same way. You were like, because it was that same night where you were like, I need to go mow a lawn or something.
Oh, that's right.
I just remember that.
Maybe you should write.
I'm like, he's hiring me because he doesn't want me to sue him.
Don't sue me about the gay stuff, okay? Please.
I have a family.
No suing.
Oh, memories. I got my revenge on you with Aquarion. I mean, you had to be really gay in that show. Even gayer than I had to be in that show. And your character wasn't even gay.
I know. I don't get it. But
I
whatever.
mean, or at least if he was gay, he wasn't out. Like, Toma, totally out. Totally out in drag. There was no question. But serious? I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe he could have just been one of those people who's like, oh, shit, maybe I should have told you we've been friends for like 10 years. I'm gay. Cool.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
I guess it's my obligation to act surprised.
Yeah, that was
You've made the effort of coming out. I don't want you to feel like...
I love it. I think the last person that came out, it's like, well, what, dude? Just say it. I'm gay. It's like, so? We all know. All of us.
Yeah. I've had family members did that to me. A couple of my family members recently over the past couple of years have come out. Both of them cousins, both of them pull me aside and were like, I'm gay. I'm like, I know. So does the rest of the world. Dude.
I was so offended by that when I came out to everyone when I was in my late
That's
teens.
exactly what
because
my friend
everyone,
did,
because to you, in your mind, I should say in my mind, and I imagine in the minds of many others who go through this, you're like, no one knows. I have kept this secret so well, and it's been such a battle that it's so anticlimactic when you like build yourself up for this big reveal, and then everyone goes, oh yeah, we knew, and you're like, but so like I didn't have to put all that effort into the past 5 years of just making you think I was straight. No, because no one was buying it. So, like, A, you're a bad actor, and B, you kind of wasted your time. And that's and so I was so pissed off. Everyone was like, yeah, we know. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you know? You couldn't have known. No, just fucking. So people just started lying to me and being like, dude, I totally couldn't tell.
Holy fucking shit. What?
You're gay?
You see that? See what I just did? That's about as good a performance as you've been giving for the past 5 years, playing straight. I'm like,
yeah.
What is you playing straight? I just...
I don't even know. I was a...
Hey guys, what's going on? I think I'm gonna go have sex with a woman.
I'm gonna go and sleep with some random girl I hardly know because that's what we do, isn't it?
That's right. That's what men do. They have sex with the stranger ladies. Right?
Yeah.
That's what the straight men do.
I'm gonna go totally hang out with this girl who is not by any means my fag hag.
Wow,
That's
it's been
right.
forever since I've heard that word, that phrase.
I didn't even know what that word was until I'd had a fag hag for like 5 years. I'm like, oh, that's what you are. Like, I was the last person to learn about all the gay stuff. Like, I was like,
You
damn
weren't
it,
on
no
the
one
gay
told me any
newsletter.
of this. I didn't know the rules.
Why is this guy making out with me?
I'm like, what am I? I mean, I like it and all, but like, I didn't know this.
What's
Yeah.
happening here?
This is weird. Oh, not weird.
Because I was very fortunate to come out to a family that were like, yeah, we don't care. I mean, that's all good. More power to you. It explains a lot, actually. Because I was always a weird kid, so I guess they were just kind of expecting. They're like, oh, well, what's one more weird fucking thing for you to do? Okay, so now you're gay.
Wait, what? So, like, I'm weird? What? I don't know.
Yeah.
Families
So my
are
parents
weird.
were like, "Oh, you're gay? Oh, that's fine. That's cool. That actually makes it a lot easier to explain you to everyone else." Because it used to have to be like, he's a little just peculiar, and now it's like he's gay. That's all I have to say. It's like we
done and done.
we require less syllables now.
Oh, that's Tatum.
He's gay. 1, 2 syllables. Right?
As opposed to he's peculiar, which is 4.
Hey,
or
Tatum.
5.
Jackie wants to know if Eric Vale turned into a zombie, would you kill him?
Yes, because he'd eat my head, and I don't, man.
Just your head.
Just my head. Well, I mean, he would probably start there, because they like the brains. And that's
Oh
all I
my
would
God,
remember,
I'm
because
gonna
I would be
fucking
dead by then.
I'm gonna stab
Why are you
you.
shaking your head? You don't want me to kill you? Come on. I would expect, like, I'm
Zombies-
giving you permission to kill me if I became a
Zombies
zombie.
aren't sleeping.
I don't think he would even, I don't think
Listen
he'd
to me,
even wait for
fans.
me to be a zombie.
I don't need your permission.
Oh,
That's right.
it's gotten dark.
That's
Eric,
right.
I'd probably still kill you, but I'd have a rough time at it. You know, but
You'd be upset.
yeah.
I wouldn't be upset. I would probably enjoy it a lot.
I would kill anybody who became a zombie, including myself.
I would too.
You know.
I
kill
wouldn't.
you
If
too.
I became a zombie, I would totally have fun and fuck with you people.
Would you actually be killing the zombie? Technically?
Because
No.
they are
You would be
dead.
reinforcing
I guess you're
the deadness.
you're just making sure
Right.
they stay put. They're already
Following
dead.
through with all of the
Now, just to be
deadness.
technical, okay, because I don't know the answer, and I'm sure you would. Okay, both of you probably. So, zombies
All right, getting
are
comfy.
zombies dead or undead?
Undead.
Undead.
So, does that mean what's the difference between undead and dead? Is it just purely that you're dead but animate, and that makes you undead, or is there something more to being undead?
That depends on the
On the
mythology.
yeah.
What's your take on it? What's y'all's take on it then? What's undead?
Like a reanimated corpse that is capable of physical movement or movement.
Yeah.
Not like an emotional movement. Or something. Yeah.
Or a bowel
Physical
movement.
corpse, yeah.
Bowel movement. Well, that can happen when you're dead.
Sure.
And it will
Does. And
Yeah.
will.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, undead. But, you know, like dead.
So
like,
moving around and stuff, and body for the most part still
undead,
working, but still like
any
necrotizing.
reanimated corpse walking around with coagulated blood that is constantly turning darker and darker into a brown sludge.
Is that
There you
your
go.
take on it too? Is that your?
I think, yeah.
Because vampires are supposed to be undead too, but they're like vampires don't like necrotize, right? There's those they're preserved, but zombies are still like just rotting away, even though they're
Well,
moving.
but it depends on the particular folklore of vampires.
Again,
Sure,
mythology.
sure.
Yeah.
I've always loved the distinction between dead and undead and alive. It's like undead is that weird kind of limbo where you're like, hey,
Right.
basically we just mean that they're not staying put when they ought to.
Right.
Yeah, like dead.
So it's kind of a catch-all phrase. I just wanted to clarify that because that's always been kind of a bone of contention with me. I'm like, I like the word undead. It's just a little too vague.
Yeah.
I understand.
But that's why we have words like zombies. Zombie.
Mm. Zombie,
It's a
good.
very
I know
vivid
what a
picture.
zombie is. I know
Yeah.
what zombie means. That's pretty clear. Mm-hmm. You know, undead's a little vague.
Yeah. Undead's a little too old world.
Beyond that.
He's totally making love to the mic with your bottle.
Making love to the bottle. What?
That's a shame.
That apparently, while we were on break, the chat room turned into a zombie fest, and I'm very happy about that. So, yeah.
Nice.
I don't know what
else do we have?
What else? Have you read a question yet?
Yeah, I did. That was if Eric turned.
Oh, that's right.
That was coming from Jackie Carroll.
These random ones.
There was like a 2 years ago something. I don't know.
Oh, this is a ghost hunt question.
Oh,
if you could, this is for both you and I, Eric.
Okay.
If we could be more like our characters in Ghost Hunt, would you want to, and in what way? I will say yes, just because I really like Lynn's hair.
Me too.
That's
same
a
reason.
Terribly shallow answer, but it's true. I like Lynn's hair, and he talks less. I wish I can get away with talking less and being as cool, but I will never ever be able to pull that off. I think we all know that.
Well,
yes.
Again.
Oh wait, can I just read the random one here real quick?
Yes,
I love
bring
this one. Can you buy a dozen donuts in the 10 items or less line?
Of course you can.
Because a dozen is one thing.
That's right. A dozen donuts is
It's
one
a dozen,
dozen.
not it's
right.
a dozen.
A dozen.
Now, if you're buying 12 donuts,
Right.
Yeah, if they're individually marked.
And individually wrapped, and you have to individually scan them. That's 12 items.
It's an item.
that
what an
or
item
you can just catch the 10 items or less chick when she's not doing anything.
I love how we're totally serious about this line. Yes.
That's right.
Yes, you can. And if they try to tell you can, you give that clerk some bullshit.
And seriously, what the fuck is this 10 items or less chick doing? I mean, if she's not doing anything at the time, she should... You got time to lean, you got time to clean.
No sitting. Get the fuck up.
Right?
Get up.
Stop sitting there.
Well, I've never ever seen that's ever worked in the 10 item or like the express lane. No one ever. They never count.
I do.
The people. No,
I
you might,
count
but the
for
people
my-
that
yeah.
like scanning never count.
Oh, I saw that.
They never. I've never seen that happen.
Yeah, the
ever.
Tom
They
Thumb by
never
my
give a
house,
shit.
they
I can
care.
walk the 10 item or less things and be like, well, I've got 10 baskets full of shit. Does that count? And they'll be like, yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. And there could be like 100 people behind me. They don't give a shit. They don't care at all. It's a fucking placebo. It's fake. It's just there to lull us into a false sense of security.
I never feel
No one's
secure
doing
at the
anything.
grocery
Michael's
store.
really pissed off about
No one's
this whole...
policing it.
Wow.
I've got like one fucking thing, and I always get stuck behind the person that's like buying groceries for fucking nuclear winter in the express lane.
Did you say nuclear?
Did I say nuclear? Nuclear winter. Sorry. God, why don't you jump all over me for saying it just like...
I did.
We're from Texas. It goes either way here. It
Well,
can be
I'm
pronounced
not,
incorrectly.
motherfucker.
I know.
Dude, Michael.
It's about
You're weird.
standards.
Yeah. Need to have one or two.
If they're going to have a sign, that's all I'm going to say. If they're going to have a sign, they should enforce it. Damn it.
Yeah, tap the sign.
I'm like, hey, that is 11 items. You better put one of that shit back.
I've seen it happen.
I never
seen it
see.
happen.
You're
I
lucky.
have never seen it
do
happen
I
because it's always
choose the
like
stores
they're
that
like,
don't
well,
give a
if
shit.
I'm in the line and my stuff is on the little, what the hell is it called, little runner thing?
Conveyor belt?
Yeah, they have to serve you, or they have to do it. Like it doesn't matter if you've gone over the queues or whatever.
So, like, but that just still seems to. I don't know.
Well,
I
as
know,
a
they have to.
cashier,
It's just
when
like-
the couple of times that I've been a cashier and most of my jobs, like this is the longest job. Well, no, yeah, the longest job I've ever had. Like is what I do now, and it's because I do what I like, not being a cashier at Linens and Things.
Oh, yeah.
Who returns a toilet seat?
I hate being behind someone at like a restaurant.
Awesome.
Like the nice restaurants that you kind of the nicer cafeteria style ones were like not
The
cafeteria
nicer
style.
cafeteria
But they don't
style.
serve you. You go up and you like buy stuff at the counter and then
Yeah, just sit wherever
it's not
you
like
want. Would you like the
McDonald's,
Merlot?
but it's
Yeah.
a little nicer. But I hate people in line that have to ask a million fucking questions about what they're ordering.
That's what
It's
we
like-
have to do.
Well, okay, but that's okay. But you're asking very simple questions. I've seen it happen. You're like,
Does this have
any
meat in
meat?
it?
That's a
I
very
don't
simple
know.
question. If they can't answer it, the person behind the counter is fucking stupid. I mean, people in front of the counter who are like, now, okay, so spinach and like gorgonzola cheese. What does that taste like?
Yeah.
And you're like, why don't you order it and fucking find out? Like, you expect
what if I don't
this
like
person,
it?
like, what is it? Like, I used to work in a music store, and people would come in and be like, is this good? And I'd be like, I may not think so. You may think it was fucking awesome. Why are you asking? How about people
The lead
like,
singer killed my dog. I hate it.
We used to have people that come in when I worked at the music store. We'd have like musicians come in like and hawk their wares, but they'd be performing and they'd bring a bunch.
Their wares.
Yeah. They'd come in like they'd have like a bunch of CDs on consignment and they'd be playing in the cafe and people would like it and they'd come into the music store and they'd buy a CD that was just sitting up there by the cash register, but they'd always have to ask, like, where would I find this if it weren't up here? And we're like, what does it matter? You've got it in your hand.
Hardcore,
like, they need to
emo,
know what
punk.
genre it is or they can't buy it. I'm like, do you like it or don't you? If you like it, that
Those are
should be
pretty
the only
bland
genre.
genres anyway. Rock, pop. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, genres. Yeah,
I'm just
people are like,
trying to find.
it's so frustrating. You're like, why do you need to know? You
Are
like
they
it,
playing
just
in a
buy it.
bookstore?
Yeah, like a bookstore / like music store where I worked
So,
for many
crap.
years. Well, yeah, for the most part.
Crap is the section that you would find
Smooth
that
jazz.
music.
Okay.
Easy listening.
Easy flushing. That's the section you need to go to hear this shit.
So where is that?
Ranting. Look around you. It's the entire store.
Why do I work here?
Yeah, that's how you spend most of your time when you work any retail job.
Hello. Well,
That's
it was
retail.
music gear for me, where it's like, hey, what's the difference between this Schechter and this Jackson? The name? I don't fucking know.
I'm looking for a book. I don't know the title or the author.
But it's about this guy.
But it's about, no, I don't even
Oh,
know.
that
I don't
was
even
my-
know what it's
I
about.
worked- I
but
worked
it's
at,
blue, and it's like, and it's a coffee table size book, and it was here on this display like 2 years ago at Christmas. And I thought, what a great book it
Yeah.
would be for my college-age daughter. Do you know what book I'm talking about? Yeah, let me just cross-reference that under Christmas displays like 1997
where you
and
just
blue
pick-
and coffee table.
Yeah,
and you pick anything and you go, is this it? And they go, no. And you're like, the fuck do you know?
Yeah. Let me cross-reference that under reading your goddamn mind.
When
about
you
that?
clearly, no, you're not even
it's
reading their
stupid
mind
plan.
because they don't. It's not in there. They don't
I
know. what
worked
they're
at
looking-
Blockbuster for a long time, and that was the same kind of thing. I'm sitting there, somebody comes in and says, yeah, I'm looking for a movie.
No shit.
Well, you came to the right fucking store, buddy.
You're like up the road, actually.
Well, it was this movie, came out a while back, and it starred this guy, and they were going someplace, and along the way they took a car, and
Harold and Kumar go to White
I think
Castle.
they stopped at some point, and then they kept going.
Pride and Prejudice,
Like,
right
well,
here.
it sounds like you've already watched it, dude.
Yeah. So it was a good movie. Yeah, it was great.
Must have been really
That's
memorable.
awesome. Good.
Thanks.
Why would you need to see it again? Have a good day.
Do you love when people come in asking for like movies with titles they've just made up that they don't know? It's like,
Oh yeah.
or that happened with books a lot too. When I worked in the bookstore, they'd come in looking for. There was always people that you could tell, like either people that never read or parents or students that were coming in for summer reading book lists. For school, and they'd be like, I'm looking for How to Kill a Mockingbird. You're like, you mean To Kill a Mockingbird? It's not an instruction manual, but yeah, we got that here. Dickens' Great Vacations.
Great Vacations.
Great Vacations.
How about this one? How about this one? You got Star Trek Wars? Well, which one is it, buddy? Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yes.
Star Trek Wars.
Star Trek Wars.
Yes, it's in science fiction.
Do you all got that John Travolta movie, Phenomenon?
Phenomenon?
Like, no one can ever.
Phenomenon?
Like, you've just given that movie like 4 more syllables than
Right.
that title needs. Yeah, and you shouldn't be watching it anyway. It's awful.
I wanted to rent Last of the Mohawks.
You got the Island of Dr. Moray.
Island of Dr. Moray Eel?
The Island of Dr. Moray Eel. Why has no one made this film? Next project.
I would pay money to see
The
that.
Island of Dr. Moray Eel. Steve, if you're listening to this, you better draw that shit.
Do it. Do
The
it.
Island of Dr. Moray Eel. Come
got
on,
some-
man. Come on, man. You know you can do it. Okay, we got some questions here. We'll do this. Let's see. Okay, what's your favorite cuss word?
What's your favorite cuss word?
God damn it.
Really?
like it.
That's a good one.
I like it because it makes people angry. Because don't take the Lord's name in vain. Actually, you're not. Shut the fuck up. Okay.
I'm not taking it in vain. I totally mean it.
That's right.
Mine's cocksucker. We've been over that before. I love the word cocksucker.
Wonder why. Okay.
Because it's also my hobby. What?
Who now? Who said what now? Penis. He means
Giving me
penis
the mom
sucker.
look again.
No,
Stop
it's not
giving me
the
the mom.
mom
It's
look,
another.
yeah.
It's a variation of the mom look.
No, I've got several variations, but that's not it. That's like the...
No.
No, now I've been working on a new one.
Stop it. That just creeps me out. And now Eric's... No, that's not a mom look. That's like I'm in a gay bar and you want something to happen look. That is like... You just sat next to me with a pack of Marlboros with a condom in the cellophane, and now you're staring at me like that.
Condom in the cellophane?
Yes. So that's totally how it's done. No, I don't know.
You see that
I
condom
haven't
in
been to a
that
gay
pack
bar
of
in, like,
cigarettes?
12 years.
Yeah, I really...
That ain't mine,
That's yo.
baby.
Hey, you want to play Harley Davidson? Oh, it's terrible. All right. Quick, save me. Read a question. Please.
What? Ooh, I don't know. Oh, this is from Cheryl. What is our stance on AMVs or animated music videos and using illegal downloads? AMVs, I'm fine with illegal downloads. There are a couple of things in this country that I don't agree should be illegal. Downloads is not one of them. I hate them. So there. That's my stance on it. Boom.
What?
I'm lost. What?
It sounds like those are two completely different things.
Stance on AMVs?
I dig AMVs. I think AMVs
I really
are
do.
fun.
I dig
think it's
them,
fun.
you know, but, and then also, what is our stance on using illegal downloads? And
Fuck illegal downloads. I hate that shit.
what you think? That's what Eric thinks.
That's
Okay.
me.
I'm against all things illegal because it's illegal and that's bad. And the other thing, I have no point of reference.
Yeah.
What is it?
AMVs?
You've never seen an AMV?
Automated motor vehicle?
Animated music video.
videos. It's where they take like clips from a show they like and they'll put it to music or something and make like a little music video of it.
That was a good
Okay.
question, Cheryl.
It's a good question.
I honestly have no point of reference. I've never seen one. I have no
So
idea.
Eric is Manila on it.
He's Manila.
Yes.
He's a Manila folder.
Yeah, I would have to see one to be able to form an opinion.
Yeah, not
Sorry.
all AMVs are created equal. Believe me,
Yeah.
some are good, some are awesome, some are not.
Okay.
but the concept, I'm
sure
totally
there's some
fine
for
with the
you, I'm
concept.
sure.
I'm sure there's
Googled
many
you.
for you.
But I don't know.
But yeah, obviously I do not like illegal downloads because they hurt the industry that is my bread and butter. So that's pretty clear.
Well, that's not the only reason I don't like them.
Well, that's not the only reason, but that's the easiest one to explain.
Yeah, I'm like, we could go on. You should have asked us this,
Yeah,
like,
this we could have
early.
been. That's a whole other show, but
Coming soon.
coming
probably.
soon. So
Yeah.
I guess we've got time for like what, one more question?
One more question, and then we'll have an awkward hug with Eric. And
An awkward hug with Eric. We? Like I have to join in this?
No.
okay, I'm saying we, like, Eric and I actually are probably going to hang out after this, after you leave.
Oh, that's good.
Grab a beer.
Awesome. That's so... I feel so...
Stop talking, Michael.
I will.
Jesus.
I'm going to think this question at you then.
Yes, I do.
That's awesome, because the question is, working on Dragon Ball Z, the amount of power-up screaming, did you actually feel you were ever turning Super Saiyan?
Yes, I do. Yes, I did.
You got your tenses fucked up, but it was
That's
right. It was a good
right.
answer.
No, I never have felt that I was actually turning Super Saiyan because I have always understood the difference between reality and fiction. And that's just me and my ability to separate something that is absolutely fake from something that's absolutely real, like tangible universe around me, things that I can touch and feel. And
What's that like?
It would be fun to watch you
know.
lose your mind one day, though. That would be fun.
you missed it. This is what it looks like.
Yay.
No, I've never
looks
felt.
good.
I've never felt that I was actually going Super Saiyan. I have felt what it does to honestly answer the question, is that when you have to do something like that over and over again, it doesn't do anything other than make you angry. Because you start to wear your voice out. It starts to hurt after a while, and then you really just get irritable.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm turning Super Saiyan in so far as becoming full of greater strength, but full of greater irritation. The more I have to do it, which is why I try to, if I gotta scream like that, try to do it right the first time.
Yes.
Personally, that's what I think.
Yes, that is.
That is what I do. Yeah, okay.
Well, cool. That was a very good answer. That was a
Thank
nice
you.
roundabout answer.
I suppose on that note,
On that cluster of notes,
numerous notes. It's like a whole binder's worth of like
someone just
sticky
sat
notes.
on a piano.
Yeah. Piano. Thank
Someone
you for doing the show.
What? You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It has been fun and illuminating. Well, fun.
It's definitely happened.
It is something we can't take back.
That's right.
2 hours of my life that are gone, and
This is something that has happened and will now go into the past of all of our lives. And
like that sentence, and this one.
Now.
and this one.
Nah.
And now.
So thanks for coming on and
Yes,
chewing the
mister.
fat with us. It's been
Thank you.
It's been an honor and a privilege.
Thank you to everybody for your questions.
Oh, yes.
And to everybody for listening.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yeah, we'll have a nice little burp, yeah.
I can't do it.
You can't?
I can't burp on command. Like I can't see everyone. I can't.
That
I
was
try.
me.
Like I'll swallow air and I'll
You
burp
fart
like an
on
hour
command?
later. I don't fart on command either.
no.
Steven's like,
do
please
you?
don't.
What?
Do you?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
No.
It's not happening. It's just not happening.
I will say you do the best fake fart noises I've ever heard.
Thank you. I do try.
But that's a whole
I'll
other
leave.
show.
I'll leave y'all with one.
Oh, here we go. Thank you, sir.
Well, we'll talk at you guys soon.
Laters.